Luke returns to his workshop dejected. Approaching the camera, he makes sure that no one is looking and produces his cocaine dispenser. But C-3PO totally gets the drop on Luke. He explains to him that as he was preparing to incinerate R2's corpse, it suddenly reanimated itself and ran off. Oh no, a zombie robot! Not again, wails Luke, dashing off with C-3PO following close behind. Luke pulls some space binoculars out of his ass and peers through their space eye holes in search of R2-D2, but unfortunately the Zombot was nowhere to be found. Expletive. I can't see a thing through these blasted binocs. Hear me, C-3PO. If you speak a word of what has transpired here to Uncle Owen, know that he will have both our asses for this. In the morning, we will set out for the zombie R2, and we will murder him again. The next day, Uncle Owen wanders the premises dazed, in a drunken stupor, searching for Luke. He calls out to him, Luke! Luke! I'm gonna kill that boy. Owen's body drifts itself into Aunt Beru's cooking cell. Where the fuck is Luke, he growls. Out with friends, Aunt Beru responds despondently. Out with friends? They both know what this means. Well, I guess that's it then. Luke and C-3PO blast through the Dooney sands at top speed. Faster! Faster! Demands Luke. The droid must die today! A Tusken Raider sniper aims at Luke from a nearby cliff, but doesn't have the balls to pull the trigger. The Tuskens mount their bantha steeds in two completely different, but similar looking enough that you wouldn't notice it immediately locations, and ride off. Stop right there, foul revenant! Our heroes had found R2, miles into the twisting shit sands of the Dune Sea, and lo, the creature before them was no corpse, but a flesh and blood robot. He is risen! Exclaims C-3PO. Silence, slave! Luke would have continued that sentence, but R2 was majorly spazzing out. He must be sensing Tusken Raiders, Luke infers from R2's distressed wobbling. And indeed, Luke's deduction was spot freaking on. A group of Tusken Raiders had set up camp just north of the canyon cliffs. But suddenly, Herink! A surprise attack brings Luke down. His instincts roll him like an armadillo die, avoiding the Raiders' attacks. The Tuskens' angry honks echo throughout the canyon. Honk! 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 R2 watches in sheer terror from the safety of a conveniently placed rock formation as the filthy pilferers drag the unconscious Luke back to his parked speeder. The nearly indistinguishable Tuskens waste no time stripping Luke's speeder for precious foodstuffs to shove into and down their probably hideous faces. But yet more surprises present themselves. A Tatooinean whooping wraith, the most powerful creature in all of Star Wars, presents itself, scaring off the piss-pantsed Tuskens. Whoop! 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 Its cry is as dread-inspiring as its hobo-like appearance. With R2 petrified from the maximum amount of fear that his processors could force into him, Luke was almost certainly going to die in the most painful of ways. The Wraith removes its hood, revealing itself to be not a Wraith, but Obi-Wan Kenobi. No one was surprised, and nobody cared. Luke awakens screaming, Uncle Owen, no, not the pliers! Oh, thank God. Just another nightmare. Those sand people really fucked you up, kid. Luke is floored by the old man's blatant racism. What did you just call them? Never heard someone say sand people, boy. What are you even doing all the way out here? Luke explains that R2 may be the second coming, but Obi-Wan is not buying it. Luke tells the redneck of the hologram that R2 projected just before his resurrection. Obi-Wan's shocked expression reveals that he knows exactly what Luke is talking about. by the Force. Luke just stares. I knew that this day would come, Luke. I am Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I am about to blow your fucking mind. Luke continues staring. Herink, herink, herink. We'll talk more at my place. Those sand people will be back any second. Luke briefly considers lecturing Obi-Wan on his racist tendencies, but realizes that he has forgotten C-3PO. In the sand rests his slave's severed arm. By now, he is surely dead. But he is actually totally fine, and absolutely beaming with religious vigor. I have returned from the valley of the shadow of death unscathed, he preaches. Though I have lost my arm, I feel no pain. My people are the chosen people, and very soon our Lord God shall release us from our bondage.